Once upon a time, in a quaint village bordered by a dark, mysterious forest, there lived a young girl named Little Red Riding Hood. Known for the bright red cloak her grandmother had sewn for her, she was loved by everyone in the village. One sunny morning, her mother called her over and handed her a basket filled with freshly baked bread and homemade preserves. "Take these to your grandmother, dear, for she is feeling under the weather," her mother instructed. Red Riding Hood nodded enthusiastically, thrilled at the prospect of visiting her beloved grandma, who lived all alone on the other side of the forest. As she skipped along the familiar path, the birds chirping melodiously and the sun filtering softly through the trees, she couldn't help but feel a sense of freedom. She had always been warned by her mother, never stray from the path, for the woods are full of danger. However adventurous at heart, she occasionally glanced at the wildflowers growing off the beaten track. It was during one of these momentary distractions that she met the wolf, who slyly observed her from the shadows. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf greeted with a charming smile. "Where are you off to this fine morning?" "To my grandmother's house on the other side of the woods," she replied, unaware of his cunning intentions. These flowers would surely lift her spirits. The wolf, sensing an opportunity, suggested, "Why don't you pick some flowers then? They would make a lovely gift for your dear grandmother." Heeding his words, Little Red Riding Hood ventured off the path, gathering a bouquet, while the wolf quickly made his way to the grandmother's cottage. Arriving ahead of Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf knocked on the door and imitated her voice. "It's me, Grandma. I've brought some treats for you." Trusting the voice, the grandmother let him in, only to be swiftly locked in the closet by the devious wolf. When Little Red Riding Hood finally arrived, she noticed the door slightly ajar and entered cautiously. "Grandma, your voice sounds quite different today," she remarked upon hearing the wolf's gruff imitation. "Oh, I have a slight cold, dear," the wolf responded, muffling his voice further. But the clever girl, noticing the figure didn't quite resemble her grandmother, questioned, "Grandma, what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied, growing nervous. "And what big eyes you have," she continued. "All the better to see you with," the wolf answered, struggling to maintain his disguise. Finally, Little Red Riding Hood bravely uttered, "What big teeth you have, Grandma! All the better to eat you with," the wolf roared, leaping from the bed. Just at that moment, a woodsman who had been passing by heard the commotion and rushed into the cottage, brandishing his axe. Startled, the wolf fled, leaving the door to the closet open. Little Red Riding Hood freed her grandmother, embracing her tightly. Finally safe, they both thanked the woodsman profusely. Taking care to heed her mother's advice, Little Red Riding Hood never strayed from the path again, especially while visiting her grandmother.